First of all, one question to the audience. Do you know in which year Neumann was founded? It's exactly 90 years ago. So, as I'm standing here, it's the 90th anniversary of the Georg Neumann Company headquarters in Berlin. So, on this particular occasion, we thought it's nice to bring a legend in the microphone industry, and especially in the music industry, mainly here in the Los Angeles area, back to life. So, the legend, as you all know, this is not a U87, that's a U67. And it is not a look like a U67, it is the real U67, which is made to the original specs from the times when I was born. And, you know, it's a tube microphone which has an old glass tube in it, an EF86 feedback problems, you know, it's not a UA67. So, it's a U6, it's an EF86 tube, which we are still using in these days, which are hand selected for each microphone, which is handmade, made in Germany. And we've got a special power supply for it, which is backwards compatible with all U67s from the past. And it is usable all over the world with all voltages. And the microphone sounds like the real thing from the 1960s. So I think it won't take for long before it becomes a collector's item. And I hope that I will have at least some of you, especially here from the press, who may test the microphone and give us their feedback, because I know a lot of you are nerds when it comes to music recording themselves. A lot of you are musicians playing in a band or soloists, as I am, by the way, from time to time. So let's talk. If you have any questions and you need any more information than what I can give you here on stage, please feel free to come to me after the official part here and then talk to me, okay? On top of that, we do have one special edition of the U87. No need to explain this to you. This is a working horse in every professional recording studio, as you all know. But we made it as a rhodium edition with a very special surface. It's up there in the corner. You can see it there. This is a collector's item because we only made 500 units of those. So each microphone has got its special serial number. Why did we decide to reissue the U67? Because it's a highly desired microphone in the recording industry. There are some products which look like the real thing, but they don't come from Neumann, and they are, let's say, an outer shell of the typical Neumann design, but the content is different. And we thought, if there are so many people who are having a desire for this particular legendary microphone, why shouldn't we come up and bring the original back to life instead of seeing copies coming up anywhere in the world? So it is the real thing, and we reissued the U67 once in the early 90s, and then we were running out of components which we need for this microphone, and we could not make it again. But now we are 26 years later, and as a company for audio technology, we have, of course, developed ourselves to a higher degree of manufacturing. Also, with the help of Sennheiser as our mother company, we are capable of doing things which we probably couldn't do just by ourselves. So 26 years later, we were able to really reissue the parts and components which we needed to really call it a real U67, not just a lookalike product. And since we could do it, we said, okay, there are enough customers out there who are always asking us for this thing, then let's just do it. And here we are.
Welcome at the headquarters of Neumann here in Berlin. I'm Mark Försner, Head of Marketing, and I will introduce you our marketing activities to celebrate our 90 years anniversary. For example, we have implemented our new website. We will increase our social media activities, and furthermore, we have a new trade show design with new POP system and a special merchandise collection to celebrate the 90 years. And what we also will implement is a new corporate publishing tool called Neumann Magazine, and you can see this new tool at the AES in New York City, and I hope you enjoyed it.
At this workshop, we you can move in if you want. Yeah. At this workshop, we do all prototyping before we design something. The mechanical parts are always done here. It means if the electronic development decided to create a new electronics, we built the prototyping of mechanical parts here and try to implement this electronics inside to be able to create or to get it in this design how the electronics likes to do, and the mechanics as well. But the main thing is that the acoustical design should be also fitting in. So there are many parameters inside to get it before we finish a product. This machines, they work mechanical. So this guy is really prepared to do it by hand, everything, and to get it in this specs, how the mechanical development decided how to get it. So he works really by these drawings. We use it for many old parts as well, because we have all old drawings of microphone components, and we use it for service. So if we need mechanical parts, he is able to rebuild them, and we gave it to the galvanics and get it fixed.
One of the things we are... Yes, okay, so it's recording.
My colleague is now working on the capsule, on the electrode. It means he is drilling to fit all technical parameters. Later on, the membrane will be put on, and it will get as a capsule, as a condenser capsule. And so if this mechanical values will not fit, he will do it again till we get it in the specs or in this capsule design as we want to get. 90 years still using mechanical devices to get this fixed and designed, not only computer-based technology.
Right, but it's also using craftsmen.
Yeah, right. Knowledge and craftsmen.
Because one of the shifts in the microphone business, now that mobile devices have come out and they have a different impedance mix, they don't need the phantom power and everything else, there's a push for let's just make it small and automated for going through. So sonic coherence, the phase response, a lot of those things, they disappear when you're talking about a MEMS mic or you're talking about something that can be mass automation design. And that is when you need to build 1 billion units a year, your focus is on manufacturability as opposed to audio performance.
Right.
And as such, the designers of those products tend to be manufacturing-oriented people, not audio engineers and craftsmen.
Of course.
And the people in the prototyping area, it's very unique here because most of the companies we've recently covered, what they're showing for prototyping is they have a 3D printer.
Right.
And they're doing rapid prototyping.
Yeah.
This is the complete opposite of rapid prototyping.
Right, right. Maybe some companies do this prototyping outside the company as well, and they get it fixed by other companies and get it in again and test it again. But we do it here internally. Here you see some microphones beginning from the 1928 till now. Where it is cut off to see the technique inside, how it is built inside. It starts with, it is very technical. It shows you, from the old generation till the new generation, because we do service on very old microphones, vintage microphones especially, which goes to a restoration. And for many of you, it is really interesting to see it how it is inside, to do not open a customer microphone to have a view inside. So here are different generation shown. You see here as well you see here how the TLM107 was starting with the design. It means we started with a bigger part and went to a smaller one, and we decided later on to get it in the middle. And this is the result of the TLM107. You see here that we are also able to do customization of different microphones. If a customer is interested to get it like the solid stage microphone with a spider and a Swarovski stone in it, we were able to build this for this customer over there. These are microphones here from different anniversaries. 40 years U87, or from the Neumann anniversary of Neumann 75 years. Here we do all recordings, especially after service. It means this is the last test what we do after repair. We do the frequency response measuring here, before the microphone leaves the company again. If it fits all technical data, it can go to customer back. You can see here the position of the microphone, for example, and also the frequency response by 0 degrees, 90 degrees, or what is needed if you use it for Omni or conduit or figure of 8, for example. We do all the recordings here.
So in looking at that response, you could see that the top line is a fairly flat response and has some peaking at the end.
Yeah.
Do you tune all the different microphones for the instrument mics versus the vocal mics and things like that to the different wave patterns using this chamber?
We have a measuring microphone to get the flat curve.
Okay.
And we do the recordings in parallel. It means we see the differences between the measuring microphone and at the flat mic and the recorded microphone, which type it is. Say it's okay, we have to move.
That there's no extra sound. It's like normally you're used to environment or...
So this room is completely elastic. I will turn a bit with the camera, you see this. We have here this foams here under the elastics, on the top, at the side over there, and we do all these recordings here in this position. It is a kind of free field recording. It means measuring, not recording, it's a measuring much more. And
Is that the reference microphone or the microphone under test? Because I see there's another stand next to it.
This is only a prototype, which we are testing now how it sounds. Inside you see here is brass housing.
Right.
It means it is not a finished one. This room is also used by the engineers from the development usually, but we use it for service as well after the service to do the last tests here.
So then when you go to calibrate them, you'll put the reference flat microphone in that stand, or?
No, usually we have some other tests what we do here. Usually this is the position of measuring.
Okay.
The distance should be always the same when we record.
And I see you have a laser guide on.
Yeah,
here
right.
in order
To
make
see,
sure.
yeah, to see the position of the capsule, to have it really on in the middle of the membrane, and not to have a different height to get other frequency
So
responses.
it's full calibration, both
Yeah,
physical to
yeah.
make sure that everything is
Yeah.
duplicated and audio.
Yeah, you are right. And also the movement of the microphone is really computer based. You go from 0 degrees, you can go by 1 steps around.
And I noticed that the laser extends all the way over into the speaker to make sure it's on the same
And the
plane.
same distance and in the same frame, yeah, right. This room is the service department, or the service room, where the microphones are serviced. It means we do here in Germany only here at the headquarters the service for microphones
Okay.
for the
So-
whole German
So
area.
like the U82s and the U67?
All microphones which are built after 1947 till now, we are able to service here. Sometimes with original spare parts. As I told you before, we use the mechanic lab as well to create or to rebuild some mechanical parts as well after we use it by these old drawings to get it fixed.
Do you manufacture tubes here?
No, no. The tubes were always bought from Telefunken, for example, or the other companies later on, what we used for the microphones or in the current products as well. We test them before we build them in, of course, but we do not build them. If you see here, this microphone is from the 50s, and we still do this service here on these microphones. We have this kind of housings or wire mesh cages as well. They are in the not finished process. It means we have them still in brass existing, and we gave it to the galvanics to do it from. Yeah, this wire mesh cages are from the 60s, original.
Oh.
So
you do all the plating and all the other stuff
yeah,
here?
yeah.
So in looking at that one that you opened that's from the 50s,
Yeah.
a lot of those passive components are difficult
Yeah.
to find. Do you still have inventory, or do you remanufacture? Or?
Usually we, to explain to you, these resistors, for example, they are no longer available.
Right.
Because everybody knows they are specially designed and made in the 50s. Only what we try to get is the value, the right value, to get the microphone in the specs again. This is the idea behind.
So you could replace them with modern materials that have
right,
the same function.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, right. Also interesting for you maybe to know, we do not tune any microphones.
Oh,
We repair all microphones to get it working again and to get all technical data, to get it in the specs as it was delivered at this time.
okay.
Yeah,
So
Because we
everything
are-
goes out as an original microphone
yeah,
then?
yeah. We are very often asked, can you tune maybe at the low ends and so on to get much more low frequencies and so on and so on. No, we do not, because we are interested if somebody have this microphone and wanted to use it, that it is in the specs. And if there is named as a M49, it should sound
Like
and work as a M49.
And those microphones, some of them have their own power supplies. Do you do all the maintenance and service on the power supplies also?
Yeah, yeah.
Such as the new U67 comes with a supply.
Yeah, we do this as well. If here sometimes the component is missing, like the tube. This tube is phased out end of the 60s from Telefunken. This tube is no longer available from a manufacturer. You know, we ask the customer if he can get it on the free market. We are able to test the tube before we build it in, and we are able to build it in and create, or means to repair it again and let him working again. Which kind of collection we get for customers here. And you know, here U67, M49s, U47s, and as you mentioned before, the original power supplies as well. We are able to test them and to repair them and get them working.
So when somebody sends something like this microphone back in for repair, you're saying that you have the mesh from the 1960s, so you don't substitute materials unless it's something like a electrical component that's now value equivalent. So you aren't going to remanufacture the plastic box that's there with a 3D printer, which will change the entire acoustic frame for it. Is you use similar materials? And
we use similar materials because we have to be careful. It is a high impedance area over there, and we cannot use each material here, so we have to be careful. And we know what we are doing here, but to be honest, we have this plastics here as well existing.
So it's more of repair and restoration as opposed to repair and modernize.
Yeah, right. It is restoration.